I'm outside on my beautiful little moss, and I'm going to try to do a really quick posting. I've been saying I was going to do this, and someone reminded me of it this morning. So here's my little note. First, let me say this, though. Everything can't be in a 2-minute soundbite. Your spiritual development and your well-being may take a little longer than 2 to 3 minutes, but I know that's rude, right? But anyway, I'm loud with gum. But what I do want to say is be willing to move away from your comfort crowd. And this is going to be challenging to a lot of people because we get caught up in perceptions of loyalty and obligation and duty. And you do have duties, but your first duty is to yourself. And a lot of times we're not growing the way we need to because we are staying in crowds that don't really appreciate us for who we are in our entirety. They appreciate us in their minds and maybe even in their hearts, but in their actions, they are very complacent with who you are in their life. So a lot of times you have to be willing to leave your comfort crowd. You have to be willing to leave your hometown, your community, so that and maybe even in doing so, when you come back, people can appreciate what you were giving them all along. You know, it's like water and air. We often take it for granted. We don't realize how precious and valuable it is. But if you go to a place where water isn't as readily available, you understand that it is something necessary to life and vital. So leave your comfort crowd. You know, we get caught up spending too much time trying to make people hear us that aren't willing to hear us. Trying to influence change where people aren't ready to change, trying to assist those who really don't want our assistance, really don't want our advice, really don't want the truth at this time, and that's their right. And what I have found is, as much as you may want to be community oriented, you have to go where your bliss is and you have to go where your prosperity is. And sometimes it means leaving the crowd that you know so well. Many of us are disgruntled. We're like, this person doesn't appreciate me, or these people don't appreciate me, yet we stay in that relationship. We stay in that friendship. It's like we've been trained not to change our minds, not to change our behaviors, because doing so is like turning your back on someone. Well, you can't turn your back on people who already aren't facing you and aren't facing themselves. And you do yourself a disservice by staying where it's comfortable. I often clear my friends list on Facebook, and that's why. And I will look at what people post because I outgrow certain messages. There was a time when I went through a very militant phase. I'm not in that phase anymore. So to read those messages doesn't really assist me where I am right now. And what I mean by that is you grow, you change, and your diet should change. You know, I didn't like squash when I was young. I like squash now. So be willing to allow your appetite to change and move people out of the way. A lot of times we're not receiving the support and assistance that we need because we have that space filled with people who don't support and assist us. And there's a time to be in the Dead Sea. You know, there are benefits to being in the Dead Sea, but there's also benefits to going to the lake and the river. So know your time, know your season. Be willing to move away from crowds that don't support you. Build a new audience. One of my mantras is asking for people to come that will invest in me the way that I will invest in them. And that's on every level, financially, spiritually, emotionally, energetically, cosmically, relationally. Ask for what you want and then clear the way for that to happen. Align yourself. I pray that this message finds you in perfect health and strength, that all your needs are met in accordance with your will to allow yourself to meet your needs by making the necessary changes in your life and in your psyche and in your cells to allow that to happen. I love you. I hope you're happy. I hope you're well. Be empowered. Peace.